Good morning! I'm down at Pawatahanui Inlet looking to photograph that kingfisher again. It's nice and early, as the previous photographer that I met down here reckoned that they were closest to the tree around, I guess, sunrise or high tide. And although it's not high tide, I figured they might still be nice and close to the tree. So we're going to shoot handheld and try and get some of those shots where you see them diving, sort of flying around and diving to get the crabs out of the mud. It's a pretty clear, calm morning. As you saw, there was a bit of a frost on the window screen, and you probably also saw that I've had to put a bit of petrol in the car. So if you do want to sponsor me with an electric vehicle, do get in touch. So I think it's important to have the lens hood on, just in case it falls. I don't really want the lens to get muddy or wet. There we go, and of course the lens cap off. Chuck that in my pocket. Just have a quick finish off nice hot Milo. And the old car keys, throw them in your pocket. And I'll just show you that I've got, rather than a camping chair, might do that if I ever come out here again, I've just got one of those picnic blankets. Yeah, so that'll be okay. Keep my bum nice and dry. I guess the trick is just to take your time. Don't really want things to fall. And if you've got a lens that does get a bit wet, good to have a towel in the car. Alright, and we've parked right beside where we need to be. So we'll turn the camera around and you'll see. No, 3 clicks. Here we are. So such an easy walk track to get to. This is the tree that hopefully they will come and perch in. We can see, yeah, it's quite low tide, hey. But as I said, I can still wander out. I've got some woolen socks and Crocs on my feet. So I can just take my socks off and wander around and get my feet wet. How exciting. So what we can see here is this little perch for the birds. The previous photographer that was out here that talked to me last time had set this one up. You can probably see that in the previous video. Hopefully the birds come to land somewhere between here and, if I pan upward, this tree. That big shiny thing in the tree is the moon. So that's what that is. And I've just happened to take my socks off, but I can walk around in the mud. You can see it, I might not be able to see it, it's a bit squelchy. So I figured I'd just pop this blanket, picnic blanket, although it's quite big, just keep it semi-folded. Yeah, we'll keep that up there. That should be okay. And if I were to zoom, so from the spot here, that is 70. If you zoom in, that is 200. So we might need to bring the other lens and use that too. I don't know, I'm not feeling that hopeful, actually. There's a little bit of steam, a bit of fog, steam coming up. So it is lucky that I have got 2 cameras. Woohoo! Right, so I'll set up a bit of a camp here. Yay! Okay, so given that it is low tide, it sort of makes sense to see the kingfishers out over there. So yep, they're out, but they're a long way away, just like in the previous video, which is a bummer. So we're just using that 180 to 600 to do some of the filming of these birds. Alright, so I'm down, sitting on my blanket, ready to go. See, I've got the 70-200 in this hand, but being quite a long way out from where the birds are sitting, given it's low tide, I'm thinking I might have to abort this plan and go and sit somewhere out there amongst the mud flats. Yeah, so they're definitely out there, a long way away, so it's good to have the other lens. This is the 180 to 600. So I guess I'm really after that bird in flight, but I also haven't shot the birds with nice like morning sunrise light yet. So we'll hang out here for another 10-15 minutes, and then I'll wander out to the mud flats, and I'll have to ditch one of the cameras. I don't know quite which one I will ditch, given that for the 70-200, when you zoom in, like it doesn't quite get the reach that you need. Otherwise, suppose I could put the teleconverter on the 70-200 and get up to, that 400 reach, given it's a 2x teleconverter. I think the f-stop will be something like 5.6, so a little bit darker, but it might be okay. Certainly, it could be a bit lighter than lugging this lens around. Maybe I'll do that. Give me 15 minutes just to kind of sit and ponder, then we'll make a plan. Alright, so we'll see you in a moment. Okay, and just like that, you can see I'm perhaps the world's most impatient bird photographer. But here we are, got the teleconverter. I'm going to throw that on the 70-200. Don't really like doing this out here. I'd rather do it in the car where it's a little more predictably dry. Right, so let's make sure I do this around the right way. Oh, that could do with a clean. Looking at the inside there of the barrel. Cool, that's one. Two. And then this bit here can just screw into the other bit. And we should be ready to go. And there we are, 70-200 with the 2x teleconverter. Yeah, perhaps it's a bit more handhold friendly than the other one. Who knows? Let's give it a try. So I need to pop this into sport mode again. Sport vibration reduction. Here it is. Okay, it seems a little bit laggy, but never mind. Okay, so setting wise, there we are. So vibration reduction is, I guess, either off or on sport mode. I use sport mode, but I think some people would prefer it turned off. Got the release mode and the continuous high extended. What else? Obviously we're shooting in RAW. As daylight kicks in, the ISO can come down a bit. And then f5.6, yeah, so because the 70-200 without the teleconverter is f2.8, we see now that we get 2 stops less light, and therefore it's 5.6. I'll say it's a little bit awkward trying to get I guess photos of the birds in the tree, because you're sort of kinking your neck around to look up. It's just a bit awkward. But thankfully that's not what we want to get a photo of. So I'm thinking my next steps, I'm just going to wait here for another 5 minutes. See what, I guess, happens out there. And then my plan is to chuck the picnic blanket back in the car, and then I'll go and kneel out there in the mud. Cool. That sounds like a fun thing to do. Okay, so I'll catch you again very soon. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave that spot that I had been sitting in, have a wander across the mud flats. Yeah, this feels a little bit strange. Well, never mind. And I'll show you where I'm going. Here is just a slow 360 pan of the inlet. It's quite a beautiful space. And of course, it's going to be one of those bluebird days. Yeah, so the bird's definitely out. Things looking pretty good. So I'm going to wander a bit further this way. The hard thing is knowing where you're going to set up. Yeah, so I don't know. But clearly, once I've found a spot, I'll need to sit there for some time so the birds, lose interest in me. Yeah, that's a bit hard to know. I'll go and see if I can take some photos of these spoonbills first. I guess I can always chop and change, but not too much. Alright, just putting it out there. Walking around in the mud flats is not as easy as it sounds. Either your shoes getting stuck, or if you choose bare feet, then you're getting cold feet. And some of the shells are a little bit sharp. The mud really is like glue on these Crocs, and I guess like quicksand. Yeah, you can become stuck pretty quick, and it's a risk of falling over and getting your camera gear damaged. So that's not ideal, but when I find a spot I can just sit for a bit and worry about that on the way back to the car. Alrighty, top tip for walking in mud in Crocs. I think I've found the secret. Well, to safer walking, I'll show you. Okay, so here's my shoe. You can see that with that heel part of the Croc on, it lifts. That lifts okay. And when you don't have it on, oh god, I can get it off. So if we tuck that away, and then try, find that it is just, well, more likely to get stuck. Alright, so I'm heading back toward the car, to the bank, out of these mud flats. And I guess my other tip for walking is trying to walk on your tiptoes, or slide your feet where you can, or twist. Give an extra twist as you walk. No, I'm not sure. I don't think there's any real best method. Just being mindful with each step. The sun coming through looks really gorgeous. Let's turn the camera around. And I'll zoom in a bit too, eh? Nope, no, that one. So I'm changing plane. I'm going to head to the car and put on the longer lens, the 180 to 600. I've sat around the bank for probably 20 minutes now, and the birds have returned They disappeared when I walked out into the mud flat before. I'm thinking I'm going to head back out, but not as far. Just sit or kneel with the tripod and the long lens and get this swooping as they sort of come to land on a tree. I'm not sure I'm going to get those wonderful shots of them diving into the mud from close up like I was hoping for, because I'm not sure. I'm just not very good at bird photography. Anyway, I'm going to do that now, so I'll see you out in the mud flats again with the other lens. Okay, so here I am. I left the teleconverter in the car. It really is a morning of indecisiveness. And now I wait, sitting out here in that mud flat. There's sort of two birds, gosh, still very far away from me. A couple of the perching places a bit closer, so hopefully in time they come a bit closer to those. Although still a bit far away for my liking. I might just move a little bit closer and then wait. Oh. I really am impatient. So it's been an interesting morning. I found that when I moved to the mud flats, the birds are scared away. My idea of sitting and waiting for them to come to me equally hasn't been that helpful. I've swapped the lens a few times. I started with the 70 to 200, then I threw on the 2x teleconverter, and I swapped over to the 180 to 600. I haven't yet put the teleconverter on that. I think I'll just stick with this. Rather than doing what is probably the typical bird photographer thing of sitting around waiting for birds, I'm going to go off in search of birds and wander around the flats and just do everything handheld with the 180 to 600. Obviously I won't get them feeding because they're going to be busy looking at me, wondering if I'm coming to get them. But I might get them in flight as they fly away from me. So it's probably not the ethical thing to do. The ethics in bird photography, I guess there are. This might not be such an ethical thing, but obviously I mean them no harm, and they are pretty used to photographers around, or I guess other families, people running, jogging, babies, you get it. So yeah, we'll do that.
I know you. wherever I go, you are my home, so just let me hold your hand.
Okay, so I've finished up my time shooting these birds. The time has just gone 11 o'clock, so I've been here pretty much all morning. And what happened? Well, another photographer, and eventually two, turned up to do just the same thing. And the tide sort of came in, so yeah, I sort of sat around on the edge as I had anticipated doing right at the beginning with this other photographer, just watching and waiting for the tide to come in. And I think that is really the key. So having the high tide for the birds to, I guess, scope out their food and do the dives from the tree, that seems to be the way to do it. Yeah, so the birds came a lot closer, and I just adapted the 70 to 200 with the 2x teleconverter. What did I find? It did okay. It sort of lost the bird as it entered the water. So hot tip from the other photographer, given that he does lots of birds, is to set the focus up on the tree. Then of course when the birds do take flight, you can sort of put the camera to face, or track the bird. And obviously it finds it a little bit easier to track the bird when it is, tracking from the beginning rather than trying to hunt and find it. He was saying that the Z8 doesn't really hunt, but my Z7 II definitely does. So I might have 2 or 3 photos that are good, so I'll show them to you now. Alright, catch you in the next video. See you!